Welcome to the Sunday Painter, the channel about everything painting. I've hand-picked videos from YouTube, from how to paint to making money from your art, with advice from seasoned artists. Check out my channel, click on the video link under the top banner, to see all my educational videos, may save years of struggle. Today we are going to learn about Toulouse Lautrec. Here are a few quotes you can use in your art from Lautrec. I paint things as they are. I don't comment. I record. I don't belong to any school, just work in my corner, and I admire Degas. In our time there are many artists who do something because it is new, they see their value and their justification in this newness. They are deceiving themselves, novelty is seldom the essential. This has to do with one thing only, making a subject better from its intrinsic nature. Stay around to the end and hear my thoughts. You can use them to improve your work by studying Lautrec. Come and improve your art and expand your knowledge. Become a part of the Best Art channel and leave a happy comment, or let me know if there is an artist you would like to learn about. See you on the other side.
The Sunday Painter.
Henri-Marie Raymond de Toulouse-Lautrec Monfort was a French painter, printmaker, draftsman, caricaturist and illustrator whose immersion in the colorful and theatrical life of Paris in the late 19th century allowed him to produce a collection of enticing, elegant, and provocative images of the modern, sometimes decadent, affairs of those times. He is best remembered for his bold, colorful posters of Parisian entertainers. Did you know, during his childhood years at his family chateau in the southwest of France, he broke both of his legs and therefore stunted his growth. This left him ill-proportioned and dwarfish. During his life Lautrec felt most comfortable in the nightclubs, dance halls and brothels of Paris. The exaggerated features and silhouetted people make them look as if they have been cut out and stuck down in Lautrec's work. He put a sense of movement into his paintings. Lautrec uses bright colors when he is painting section to contrast with the relatively dull colors. It was clever how it puts a bit more life into the painting. Now that I mention this, study his works and you can start to see how he used this technique to create movement. Some find his work superficial, say a girl sitting at a nightclub table, but for me I think about what her day was like. Why is she sitting alone drinking, looking at the people dancing, having fun while I can feel her melancholy? Can you? Lautrec combines striking coloring and abnormal lighting to create a work that addresses men's superficial interest in women. This leaves the women looking like actresses preparing for a performance. Their facial expression appears artificial and exaggerated. Using color and contrast to make the painting appear ghost-like. Lighting causes their faces to appear pale. When displayed on a canvas filled with dingy hues, the white stands out and the highlights making them feel like they could walk away from you and disappear forever. Toulouse-Lautrec curiously bestows a ghostly essence to his characters. Let's talk about Lautrec and Degas. Lautrec's painting can represent various objects and emotions within a square canvas, which each artist creates an artwork with different techniques. There are several differences between Lautrec and Degas, which are the artists themselves, the subject matter, the emotions depicted, and the technique of painting. This is a very deep subject, but I'll try to keep it simple. Using the ballet works. For me, Degas' dancers are on top of the world. The pinnacle of their profession. Trained by the top, getting ready for the night's performance. A perfection, in Lautrec's dancers show the pain, grit and disappointments of the ballet. The underbelly so to speak. Degas' technique has a thicker movement of line, a weight of mass. A well thought out performance. Lautrec's on the other hand, has lightness and dark immanency of emotions. A speed of line and color to capture that fleeting moment before it disappears like a soft smoke in a breeze. I could get into more, but if you look at these works next to each other you will see what I'm talking about. Lautrec had an unusual approach to painting which some have described as almost drawing in colored paint. He incorporated long brushes of oil to produce silhouettes in most cases. One can immediately recognize the skills of a talented draftsman that lied behind his work in this medium. Lautrec established himself as the premier poster artist of Paris and was often commissioned to advertise famous performers in his prints. By exaggerating the characteristic features, Lautrec conveyed the essence of their personalities. The style and content of Lautrec's posters were heavily influenced by Japanese ukiyo-e prints. Areas of flat color bound by strong outlines, silhouettes, cropped compositions, and oblique angles are all typical of woodblock prints. Lautrec's prints often display dazzling technical effects, as new innovations in lithography during the late 19th century permitted larger prints, more varied colors, and nuanced textures. Lautrec declared that an artist should show what is true, not what is ideal. He did not glorify his subjects. He painted them as they went about their lives, sometimes performing, at other times sprawling exhausted on a chair, or simply lost in thought. No matter their status, he painted them honestly and with dignity. Intuitive understanding of personality made him a master of atmosphere. Making a video about Lautrec, we need to talk about the women in his life. In addition to his growing alcoholism, Lautrec also frequented prostitutes, which you can see in many of his works. He was fascinated by their lifestyle and the lifestyle of the urban underclass and incorporated those characters into his paintings. A fellow painter, Edouard Vuillard, later said that while Toulouse Lautrec did engage in sex with prostitutes, the real reasons for his behavior were moral: 1, an aristocrat cut off from his kind by his grotesque appearance. He found an affinity between his condition and the moral penury of the prostitute. He declared, "A model is always a stuffed doll, but these women are alive. I wouldn't venture to pay them the 100 sous to sit for me, and God knows whether they would be worth it. They stretch out on the sofas like animals, make no demand, and they are not in the least bit conceited." He was well appreciated by the ladies, saying, "I have found girls of my own size. Nowhere else do I feel so much at home." As far as Lautrec's technique, it would be hard to put it into a how to paint. I think it would come down to more of a psychological aspect of his work. Say we are doing a portrait. You dress them up and you get the perfect pose. This is not real life. Your subject would never sit like this or wear these clothes, looking at you with the best stare, which has an unnatural feel. Add an aspect of real life. I've seen portraits of people in dirty t-shirts that was beautifully interesting. Paint what is real in your life without putting the polish you think may make a great painting or what someone else would like to see. Not saying there is not a place for a traditional work, but to take a lesson from Lautrec, put some real into your work. Today, his artworks are considered remarkable. This, however, wasn't the case in the late 19th century. His father took a little interest in his son after the injury and thought his work was just a sketch. Obsessed by these critics and obstructed by his immaturity, Toulouse Lautrec insisted on appearing as a prolific artist whose work helped shape art for decades. Subscribe for more art lessons and hit the like button. It helps me out a lot, and thanks for watching.